Let's try Jen in Michigan. Dude, they rhyme. That's pretty cool. What's up, Jen? And from Michigan,
Hi, how are you?
dancing like I've never danced before, ever.
We'd be dancing in the snow here, so
Oh, gross. Is it cold?
it's it's gross. Yeah, it's sun. There's sun today, so it's okay.
There's such. That's how you know you're living right when you're like, it's miserable, but there's sun, so we're good.
Yeah,
Very
yeah. Got to look for the positive.
good. There, you don't have to, but it helps. All right, so what's up, Jen? How can I help?
Um, so my question is, how do I learn how to give more affirmation without feeling fake? Um,
To who?
a little backstory. My husband and I were your favorites. We're high school sweethearts.
Aw. Did y'all watch Dawson's
Yeah.
Creek? I don't want to
No,
wait. No?
no.
Okay. Well, good for you. I always wanted to have a high school sweetheart. It just didn't work out for me. Okay, so good for you.
So we've been together for 25 years. We'll be married for 18
Okay.
this year. We have 4 kids. They're 10, 12, 14, and 16. We also have a bonus student right now. She's our exchange student from Italy. So we have a very full house. My husband, he's one of the most energetic, positive people. His love language is definitely affirmation, and mine is not. So his being affirmation, he's very good at giving affirmation, and mine is acts of service. So I'm not so good at giving it. But 2 of the 4 kids that we have got the affirmation love language, and it is very hard for me to give them the affirmation. I will be able to say it in my head. I'll tell them that I'm proud of them in my head, or that they did a good job, but when I try to actually get it out, there's like a disconnect. For some reason, I just can't say it without feeling like they're going to think I'm fake, or like it doesn't mean anything. I don't know.
Why does your body react negatively to praise?
I don't know.
Because I want
when
to challenge your language a little bit.
okay.
You've got to stop talking in terms of I can't or I feel. Okay. All
Okay.
4 of your kids are in desperate, like oxygen need of affirmation. Whether you think you've identified 2 that need it and 2 that don't, all 4 of your kids and your husband. And contrary to what some dumb internet survey might have told you, you need it too. But something about giving it and receiving it makes your body feel awkward or weird. Where does that come from?
I don't know. Does it definitely makes me cringe though when somebody gives me affirmation?
Why don't you think you're worthy of affirmation? Are you too and I'm just gonna run through some stuff. Do you think you're too good for it? Do you yeah, I know, I'm incredible? Did your parents do such a great job pumping you up that when you hear it, you're like, duh, I know that. I'm the best in this room. Or is it the
No,
like, what is it about affirmation?
it is the opposite for sure.
Okay. What do you feel like you're gonna lose? When your 12-year-old comes bebopping in and worked her butt off or his butt off on something and did a good job, and maybe not even a great job, but a good job. What do you think you're going to lose? What's the net loss by saying, hey, come here for a minute, and grabbing them on both sides of the face and saying, I saw how hard you worked on this. Incredible. I'm so proud of you. Every day I thank God that I get to be your mom. It's awesome. Now get out of here. Like when you hear me run through that, what do you feel like you're going to lose by doing that?
I don't want to say it, but I think it's
Say it.
control.
Of
I
what?
think that of them, I don't know, treating me like mom instead of a friend, maybe.
Hmm.
if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense.
Tell me more. I think it does, but tell me more.
Um, like, let me go to an example. So I coach volleyball, and I have a practice plan out. And whenever the girls will, be like, well, can we do this? If it wasn't in my plan or wasn't my idea, it makes me feel like not disrespected, but one of those where it's just like I've lost control of. I'm no longer the authority. Maybe I don't like that word either, but
But that's what that you are using authority and positional power and what I think is one of the most disregarded and overused at the same time words of our current ethos, which is I just want to be me, is authenticity. You're using those as ways to keep people at arm's length from you. What do you think is going to happen if you connect with somebody? Did somebody
I don't
leave
know.
you when you were a kid?
No.
Did somebody hurt
Mm-mm.
you when you were a kid that was close to you?
Nope.
What do you think you're going to lose? Because you're hedging your bets against something.
I really don't know.
Okay. I need you to hear me like super clear. You're a great mom, and I can tell you love your kids, and I can tell there's something stuck between you and that relationship. And I'm saying this with all due respect and love and care, but those kids are starving for it, and your husband is too. And I promise you, you are as well. And hiding behind it just has to be my way, it just has to be the highway. There is something about being a coach, and there is something about being a parent and having appropriate, like, you're not my friend, but connectivity. Let me put it this way, all the research says is the more connected a parent is as the children are younger, the more autonomous and the more risk seeking they are as adults. It's counterintuitive. The more we want our kids to grow up and be really strong and adventurous and just go to the college or skip college and go open the business, whatever, we have to over connect with them. And so I'm just going to tell you this as lovely as I can. You're going to have to get over it. And you're going to have to decide, I've got to practice and do these things. And when it feels awkward, feel the awkward and do it anyway. And your kids are probably going to be like, what happened to you? And it may
Yeah.
be that you have to. I know a couple who struggles with talking to each other.
Mhm.
He's really annoying and finds him annoying, but she loves talking, but it just kind of comes out. So they've just both taken to writing down notes in their phone. And they call them talk topics that they can just talk about when they get together. And it's kind of like when you first have your first or second kid and you got to start putting sex on the calendar and it doesn't feel as sexy as romantic, but it's either not going to happen or we're going to put it on the calendar. It's very similar. And I would start making a list every day on a note card or in your an app on your phone that just says, I will pull each kid aside and have skin to skin contact and I'll look them in the eye and tell them something wonderful about them. And you're not making them weak and you're not making them cowardly. And more importantly, you're not diminishing your relational authority. You're their mom. They already know that. How does that sound?
It it sounds good. I have thought that I do need to write more notes because I can write it down. Like I said, I just can't get it out. Like I say it in my head, I just can't get it out.
What did anybody ever tell you you were good growing up?
I mean, yeah, my parents they were good. I know my parents aren't overly um, affectionate.
Mhm.
They weren't when we were younger. Um, so I don't know if that's just something that I taken from that, where it's
I
not
think
it's
there's
not
something else, and again, here's where it's cool. It doesn't matter. You have to fix
right.
this. You got to get this one right because I promise
Yeah,
you, because the fact that you're asking the question tells me you feel that gap too, right?
yeah.
What about your
I don't.
husband?
Um,
Has he ever
what
said things
about?
like he misses you or where are you?
Yeah, Yeah, he's like I said, he's very good at giving affirmation, and I feel like he kind of fills in for me with the kids.
Yeah, don't let that's I'm throwing a flag on that one. And
Yeah,
sometimes the inability to praise is the exact same pathology as overpraise.
yeah,
And he may be reaching for stars to try to get something he's not getting in his own home.
yeah,
Is that fair?
yeah,
I would love, 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 love you to sit down tonight and write out, here are some things that I think are wonderful about my kids, and make a plan to start telling them. Even if you would make a public announcement at dinner tonight that said, I'm going to begin practicing. I love each of you so much. And it's so crazy how wild I am about you guys and how proud I am of you all that I'm going to begin making sure you all know it. And it's going to be weird because this isn't anything mom has ever done before, but it's going to be new and you're just going to have to get over it because I'm going to tell you every day how much I love you. I'm going to tell you every day how proud I am of you. I'm going to tell you every day that I caught you doing something right and I'm going to let you know about it. And this is you just practicing. And then you look at your husband dead in the eye and say, I realize that under the guise of this isn't my love language or whatever bullcrap that is, I have not given you the affirmation that you need. And I'm sorry. And I tell you this, here's what, Jen, this is important. When my marriage was on the brink, like hanging on by dental floss, barely, I remember how embarrassed I was to tell my wife, I just want you to tell me that you're proud of me. I worked so hard for you, for this house. And I'm ashamed to say that that would be like water in the desert, but we tell me I'm proud. And she told her response was, man, that would have been awesome to know 20 years ago. I didn't know you needed that. I do. I do. So make a commitment to him. I'm going to say one nice thing in the morning. I'm going to say one nice thing in the afternoon. I'm going to ask him one question about his day in the morning, one question in the afternoon. And it's also fair to say, hey, husband, I need this too. Here's what I need. But you got to do it no matter what and how uncomfortable it is. You got to practice. You got to practice. You got to practice. This is something you got to get right. Our kids need us. And your kids need you. Thank you so much for the call, Jen.